And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Brian Howard's our guest. Brian is the Executive Director at Oneida County History Center, and we're talking about big event upcoming at 1608 Genesee Street, and that is the annual, we think it's either the 13th or the 14th, we're going to have to find that out, telethon being broadcast from the History Center, and it's their signature event. It's going to be 6:30 to 8 o'clock right here on WUTR. Is there a goal for this year's?
We are looking to raise $25,000, and we've eclipsed that a couple times over the years. Last year, I think we came in just under, somewhere in the neighborhood of 24 and change.
Yeah.
So, we think 25 is an achievable goal, and it's important that we have this fundraiser and a couple others that we do throughout the year, because we are. I think there's a misconception that we're a part of the county government because we have Oneida County in our name. We are a 100% privately funded organization. We do not receive a penny of operating support from any government entity, and as I'd stated in the first segment, we are entirely reliant upon the investment of the community to make sure that we can keep bringing our services to the public.
And that's a big building at 1608 Genesee Street. It costs a lot of money to heat it, and it costs a lot of money to upkeep.
I have a pile of estimates on my desk right now, everything from boiler repair to masonry projects to energy efficiency initiatives that we're looking to implement. It's a constant challenge, and we need to be cognizant of these physical plant issues, because if we don't have a good, solid property behind us or above us, we cannot do the job of preserving and promoting history.
Yeah. The building itself, Brian, used to be a church.
Yes. It was the Christian Science Church in Utica. It was built in 1914, and the first services were held May 2nd, 1915. And the Christian Science congregation used that building up through the middle 1980s. We bought it in 1988, and it's hard for me to believe, thinking about it now, this is our 31st year now in that building.
I remember when the Oneida County Historical Society was in the cellar at Fountain Elms.
Sure.
Doug Preston, the late Doug Preston, was the executive director, and there wasn't a lot of a room down there in the cellar.
No, I've been in the Fountain Elms mansion, of course, and it's hard for me to envision all of the material that we have in our building now, and all of that crammed into that space. It's incredible to me.
Just you think about the research library at 1608 Genesee Street, which is downstairs, just the volumes that are in that research library.
So speaking of volumes, space is a constant challenge for us. And several years ago, we've had a lot of projects over the years that have been focused on maximizing the limited space that we have available. A number of years ago, some of our volunteers went through our entire library collection, and we implemented a policy of saving 2 copies of each book title, and no more than 2, except for some of our landmark county history books. We would save 3 copies. We ended up pulling out literally hundreds of books from the shelves that were the 4th, 5th, 6th, literally in some cases the 11th and 12th copies of the same book. So we have to be more efficient with our space.
Those got sold off, didn't they, Brad? Auctioned off?
As much as we could, we transferred them to other town and village historical societies and museums. Some were just in too bad a condition to do anything with. We went through a proper, it's called deaccessioning, went through a proper review process, did our best to find other homes for the items so they would stay in the public domain. Some items did indeed go to our bookstore, but that was a minority. We were fortunate to be able to place most of what was taken out with other organizations. And by doing so, we strengthened the entire local history community.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you for the next segment where we are, where the History Center is with digitizing stuff in the collection. But before we go to that, genealogy, that's a big service, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. In the research library, we have a pretty extensive family information file. And that file is organized by surname alphabetically, as you might expect. The Kelly file, by the way, is really thick. There's a lot of Kellys in this area.
Yeah.
But that file contains news clippings, obituaries, small biographical pieces that have been submitted by families, all that kind of information for families who settled and lived in this region. So do we have a comprehensive file of families? Probably not. But is it likely when you come in that you'll find something about your family? Well, probably more likely than not we do have something. So genealogy's really grown over the years, thanks to websites like Ancestry.com. All of these DNA testing kits that are out there now allowing people to track their lineage back to Europe or to Asia or even all the way back to the start of human migration. It's all available, and people are really, truly interested in their genealogy. That's something that the Oneida County History Center can do, and something that we do provide all day, every day.
One of the best resources, I think, for people doing research are I think it's a complete collection of city directories.
And it is, yes. The Utica City Directory collection is used constantly, in addition to the family name files. The city directories, the first one was actually published before Utica was even a city in 1817. And I think there was an 11-year hiatus. The next directory's published in 1828. And then after the city incorporates in 1832, there's a directory every year until 1945. And we have directories certainly through the 40s, 50s, through the 1990s, actually.
When we come back, let's talk about digitizing
Sure.
things. And there's a big collection up there, and we'll see where the History Center is with all that. Brian Howard's our guest. Short break, right back.